In the bustling world of morning television, where celebrities often grace the couches for light-hearted chats and promotional plugs, an unexpected storm brewed on the set of Lorraine Kelly's popular show. Sean Penn, the iconic British actor known for his roles in epic tales like Lord of the Rings and Game of Thrones, had been invited to discuss his latest project, a gripping drama series that promised to showcase his versatile talents once more. The atmosphere initially seemed cordial, with Lorraine greeting him warmly, her signature Scottish charm filling the air as she complimented his enduring presence in the industry. However, as the conversation progressed, subtle tensions began to surface. Lorraine, perhaps aiming for a probing interview, delved into Ben's career choices, questioning why he frequently portrayed brooding, intense characters who met dramatic ends. Ben, ever the professional, responded thoughtfully, explaining his passion for roles that challenged him emotionally and allowed him to explore the depths of human resilience. But Lorraine pressed on, her tone shifting from inquisitive to accusatory, suggesting that his typecasting was a sign of laziness or a reluctance to step outside his comfort zone. The audience in the studio shifted uncomfortably, sensing the growing unease. Ben defended his body of work, citing diverse projects from historical epics to contemporary thrillers, emphasizing that each role was chosen for its narrative strength rather than mere repetition. Yet, Lorraine interrupted repeatedly, dismissing his explanations with quips that bordered on mockery, laughing off his serious demeanor as typical northern gruffness. The exchange heated up when she brought up his infamous on-screen deaths, joking that he must have a contract clause for dramatic exits, which elicited forced laughter from the crew but a visible frown from Ben. He attempted to steer the conversation back to his new series, highlighting the talented ensemble cast and the innovative storyline that tackled modern social issues. Lorraine, however, seemed determined to provoke, accusing him of coasting on past glories without evolving as an artist. The verbal sparring intensified, with Ben calmly but firmly asserting that her comments were disrespectful and unprofessional, reminding her that he was a guest there to share his work, not to be ambushed. The producers, monitoring from the control room, began to panic as the segment veered off script, but before they could cut to a commercial, Ben stood up, his face a mask of controlled anger. He removed his microphone pack slowly, addressing the camera directly to apologize to viewers for the interruption and to encourage them to watch his new show despite the chaos. Lorraine, flustered and red-faced, tried to regain control, shouting after him that such behavior was unacceptable and that he was ruining the show. As Ben walked off the set, the studio fell into a stunned silence, broken only by Lorraine's awkward attempt to transition to the next segment about cooking tips. This incident, captured live and quickly going viral on social media, sparked debates about celebrity interviews and the fine line between tough questioning and outright rudeness. Fans rallied behind Ben, praising his dignity in the face of provocation, while critics questioned Lorraine's approach, wondering if her usually affable style had crossed into territory that alienated guests. The clip spread like wildfire across platforms, with memes and reaction videos dissecting every moment, from Ben's stoic expressions to Lorraine's increasingly shrill responses. In the aftermath, public relations teams scrambled, with Ben's representatives issuing a statement emphasizing his respect for the industry but unwillingness to tolerate disrespect. Lorraine's show faced a temporary dip in ratings as viewers tuned in hoping for more drama, only to find her issuing a vague apology about passionate discussions getting out of hand. This clash highlighted the pressures of live television, where unscripted moments can define careers or tarnish reputations overnight. Sean Penn's departure was seen not just as a walkout but as a stand for professional courtesy in an era where sensationalism often trumps substance. The event became a talking point in entertainment circles, with fellow actors sharing similar experiences of uncomfortable interviews. Ultimately, it underscored Ben's reputation as a no-nonsense performer who values integrity above all, turning what could have been a promotional flop into a moment that humanized him further to his global fan base. Delving deeper into the prelude of this dramatic encounter, it's essential to understand the build-up that led to Sean Penn's explosive exit from Lorraine Kelly's show. Ben, a veteran of the screen with over 4 decades in the business, arrived at the studio that morning with high hopes. His new series, titled Shadows of the North, was a passion project exploring themes of identity and redemption in a post-industrial landscape, drawing from his own Yorkshire roots. Lorraine, the long-standing host known for her relatable, down-to-earth interviews, had a reputation for keeping things light, often sharing personal anecdotes to connect with guests. However, on this particular day, sources close to the production hinted at underlying tensions. Perhaps Lorraine was under pressure to deliver more edgy content to boost viewership in a competitive slot. The interview started innocuously enough, with chit-chat about Ben's family life and his love for football, specifically his support for Sheffield United. Ben engaged politely, sharing stories from his early days in acting school and how he balanced fame with a grounded lifestyle. But as the segment shifted to his career retrospective, Lorraine's questions took a sharper turn. She referenced critiques from film reviewers who claimed Ben's roles lacked innovation, always revolving around stoic heroes facing adversity. Ben countered by listing acclaimed performances, from Sharp's Rifles to his poignant Turn and Broken, arguing that depth comes from authenticity rather than novelty. Lorraine, however, seemed unconvinced, interjecting with comments like "But don't you get bored dying all the time?" which drew chuckles from the audience but irked Ben visibly. The clash escalated when she implied that his success was more due to luck and typecasting than talent, a remark that struck at the core of his professional pride. Ben, maintaining composure, explained the rigorous preparation for each role, from dialect coaching to physical training, but Lorraine waved it off, suggesting he was phoning it in for the paycheck. At this point, the energy in the room palpably changed. Crew members exchanged worried glances, and the director signaled for a wrap-up. Undeterred, Ben pressed on, defending not just himself but the integrity of actors who commit fully to their craft. Lorraine's retort was swift and cutting, accusing him of being overly sensitive and unable to handle constructive criticism. The back-and-forth reached a boiling point when Ben questioned her expertise in judging acting, pointing out that hosting a chat show didn't equate to understanding the nuances of performance art. This personal jab seemed to stun Lorraine, who raised her voice, demanding respect as the host. Ben, realizing the futility, decided enough was enough. He unclipped his lavalier mic, stood tall, and addressed the viewers. "I'm sorry it came to this, but I won't sit here and be insulted. Watch Shadows of the North if you like real storytelling." As he strode off, Lorraine stammered, trying to salvage the moment by joking about fiery northern tempers, but the damage was done. Post-incident, social media erupted with hashtags like #StandWithSean and #LorraineClash, amassing millions of views. Analysts debated if this was a PR stunt or genuine fallout, but Ben's fans saw it as a heroic stand against bullying in media. Lorraine issued a statement later, expressing regret if her words were misinterpreted, but stopped short of a full apology. The event prompted discussions on interview ethics, with experts calling for better guidelines to protect guests from hostile environments. In retrospect, this clash served as a catalyst for Ben to reflect on his media appearances, opting for more controlled platforms in the future. It also boosted interest in his series, with streaming numbers spiking as curious viewers tuned in. The incident, though regrettable, highlighted the human element in celebrity interactions, reminding everyone that behind the glamour, egos and emotions run high. Examining the immediate repercussions of Sean Ben's dramatic walkout from Lorraine Kelly's show reveals a whirlwind of media frenzy and public opinion shifts that dominated headlines for days. As the live broadcast cut to an abrupt commercial break following Ben's exit, the control room was reportedly in chaos, with producers scrambling to fill the remaining airtime. Lorraine, composing herself on camera upon return, attempted to downplay the incident with a forced smile, pivoting to a pre-recorded segment on fashion trends. But viewers weren't fooled. Clips of the clash were uploaded to social media within minutes, courtesy of audience members and quick-thinking staff, spreading across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok like digital wildfire. Comment sections overflowed with support for Ben, many praising his restraint and class in handling what they perceived as an unprovoked attack. Celebrities weighed in too. Fellow actors like Ian McKellen and Emilia Clarke tweeted solidarity, sharing their own tales of tough interviews. On the flip side, some defended Lorraine, arguing that her role as a journalist included asking hard questions to keep things interesting. Tabloids seized the opportunity, splashing headlines like "Ben boils over on breakfast TV" and Lorraine's lethal interview, complete with frame-by-frame analyses of the confrontation. Ben's team released a measured statement, thanking fans for their support and reiterating his commitment to respectful dialogues. Lorraine's response was more subdued during the next day's show. She addressed the elephant in the room briefly, saying, "Yesterday got a bit heated, but that's live TV for you," wishing Sean all the best with his project. However, ratings for her program saw a temporary surge from curiosity seekers, though long-term polls indicated a slight dip in her favorability. The incident sparked broader conversations about the power dynamics in celebrity interviews, with media watchdogs calling for more empathy and preparation to avoid such escalations. Ben, meanwhile, turned the negativity into positivity by engaging with fans online, sharing behind the scenes from his series and emphasizing themes of resilience that mirrored his real-life stance. Industry insiders speculated on potential fallout, like blacklisting from certain networks, but Ben's established career seemed unscathed, if not enhanced, by the publicity. Podcasts and talk shows dissected the event, with psychologists analyzing body language of Ben's steady gaze versus Lorraine's animated gestures as indicators of underlying frustrations. In the weeks following, parody sketches emerged on shows like Saturday Night Live, exaggerating the clash for comedic effect, further cementing it in pop culture. Lorraine faced some backlash from women's groups who felt her assertiveness was unfairly criticized, turning the narrative into a gender debate in media. Ultimately, the clash humanized both parties, Ben as the principled artist, Lorraine as the passionate host who sometimes pushes boundaries. It served as a reminder that live television is unpredictable, where a simple chat can unravel into spectacle. For Ben, it reinforced his no-drama policy off-screen, focusing energies on creative pursuits rather than controversies. The event's legacy lingered, influencing how future interviews were conducted, with hosts opting for more collaborative approaches. In the end, what started as a promotional appearance became a pivotal moment, boosting Ben's profile and prompting introspection across the entertainment landscape. To fully appreciate the cultural impact of Sean Ben's ejection from Lorraine Kelly's show, one must consider the historical context of similar on-air meltdowns that have captivated audiences over the years. From the infamous Bee Gees walkout on Clive Anderson's talk show in the 90s to more recent spats like Kanye West's interruptions, live TV has a storied history of unscripted drama. Ben's incident fits neatly into this pantheon, distinguished by his understated British reserve contrasting Lorraine's effusive style. Post-clash, fan theories abounded online, with some speculating it was staged for publicity, given the timely promotion of Ben's series. However, insiders denied this, insisting the tension was authentic, born from mismatched expectations. Lorraine's interviewing technique, honed over decades, typically blends warmth with wit, but critics argued she misjudged Ben's tolerance for banter. Ben, known for his private nature, rarely engages in public feuds, making this outburst all the more notable. The viral video amassed over 10 million views in the first 24 hours, spawning remixes, slow-motion breakdowns, and even AI-generated alternate endings where the two reconciled on air. Merchandise popped up humorously, like t-shirts reading "I survived the Ben clash" or mugs with Ben's stoic face. Media outlets conducted polls, revealing a split. 65% sided with Ben, viewing Lorraine as overstepping, while 35% appreciated her for keeping interviews dynamic. This divide extended to generational lines, with younger viewers favoring bold questioning and older ones preferring politeness. Ben's career trajectory post-incident saw a resurgence. Casting directors noted increased interest in him for roles requiring gravitas. Lorraine, undeterred, continued her show with gusto, even inviting controversial guests to capitalize on the buzz. The clash prompted ITV to review guest protocols, implementing pre-interview briefings to align on sensitive topics. In interviews afterward, Ben reflected philosophically, stating in a Guardian piece that respect is paramount in any interaction, drawing parallels to his character's moral codes. Lorraine, in her memoir excerpt leaked online, admitted to regretting her tone but stood by her intent to provoke thought. The event influenced content creators, inspiring YouTube channels dedicated to analyzing celebrity mishaps. Social media algorithms amplified the story, leading to cross-cultural discussions, with international fans translating clips and debating cultural norms in interviews. For Ben, it became a badge of honor, symbolizing standing up against perceived injustice. The incident's ripple effects extended to charity, as Ben auctioned his microphone from the show for a mental health cause, raising thousands. Lorraine donated to similar funds, turning rivalry into reluctant alliance. Academics studied it in media courses, examining power imbalances and the role of live audiences in escalating tensions. In hindsight, the clash enriched the tapestry of TV history, proving that even in polished productions, raw humanity shines through. It reminded viewers that celebrities are people too, susceptible to frustration and defense. As time passed, the narrative softened, with both parties exchanging polite nods at industry events, suggesting fences mended privately. This episode, though brief, left an indelible mark, encouraging more authentic, if cautious, engagements in the spotlight. Reflecting on the personal ramifications for Sean Ben following his heated departure from Lorraine Kelly's set provides insight into the resilience required in the fickle world of fame. Ben, at 66, has weathered numerous storms, from typecasting battles to personal life scrutiny, but this public spat tested his mettle anew. In the days after, he retreated to his Yorkshire home, focusing on family and hobbies like gardening and reading historical novels, using the downtime to recharge. Friends reported him unfazed, viewing the incident as a minor blip in a storied career. His agent fielded calls from sympathetic producers, leading to new opportunities, including a voice-over gig for a documentary on British actors. The clash inadvertently spotlighted his advocacy for mental health, as he spoke openly about the stresses of public appearances. Lorraine's side faced scrutiny too. Her team managed damage control, emphasizing her track record of positive interviews. Viewer letters poured in, mixed with praise and criticism, prompting her to host a segment on When Interviews Go Wrong, featuring experts on communication. The incident fueled tabloid speculation about behind-the-scenes rivalries, though no evidence surfaced. Ben's fans organized online campaigns, boosting his social media following by 20%. He responded graciously, posting thanks and teasers for upcoming projects. Critically, the event didn't derail his series launch. Reviews praised Shadows of the Northward's depth, crediting the publicity for heightened awareness. Lorraine's ratings stabilized, with her charm winning back skeptics. The clash became fodder for late-night comedians, who impersonated Ben's gruff exit and Lorraine's flustered recovery. In a twist, parody accounts emerged, imagining absurd sequels like Ben returning for a rematch. Broader implications included calls for union protections for actors in promo circuits, ensuring safe environments. Ben contributed to this dialogue, joining panels on industry ethics. Personally, it reinforced his selective approach to media, prioritizing quality over quantity. Lorraine, reflecting in a podcast, acknowledged learning from the experience, vowing to balance probing with empathy. The duo's paths crossed at a charity gala months later, where cordial exchanges hinted at mutual respect regained. This saga illustrated the transient nature of controversies in entertainment, where today's scandal is tomorrow's anecdote. For Ben, it affirmed his authenticity, endearing him further to audiences who value integrity. The incident's documentation and books on TV blunders ensured its place in lore. Ultimately, it humanized the stars, showing vulnerability beneath the veneer. As Ben moved forward, embracing roles that challenged stereotypes, the clash served as a pivotal chapter in his narrative of perseverance. Concluding the tale of Sean Ben's infamous ousting from Lorraine Kelly's program, it's clear this event transcended a mere narrative to become a cultural touchstone on decorum in media. Years later, it might be remembered fondly as a moment of raw television, but in the immediate wake, it prompted soul-searching across the industry. Ben emerged stronger, his career bolstered by the sympathy wave, landing roles in high-profile films that showcased his range beyond the brooding archetype.